Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing well. We are back with another success story. Today I'll be doing an interview with our student Gurparshad, who has cleared the TEF exam. She has got CLB 8 in 2 modules and CLB 7 in the other 2, and she has also received her express entry invitation. She will be sharing her experience, tips and tricks on how she cleared the exam, and on top of that, she will also be sharing her TEF Canada writing samples, so make sure to watch the video till the end. Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien. Aujourd'hui, nous avons le plaisir d'accueillir une invitée très spéciale qui a brillamment réussi son examen du TEF Canada. Vous avez prouvé au monde entier que, grâce au travail acharné, tout est possible. Vous nous avez rendus très fiers. Bonjour Gurparshad, et tout d'abord, félicitations pour votre réussite.
Bonjour, monsieur. J'espère que vous allez bien aujourd'hui. Tout d'abord, merci de m'avoir invité ici sur cette plateforme pour partager mes opinions et mes expériences sur mon parcours de l'apprentissage de la langue française avec ma préparation pour le même examen de TEF. Merci encore.
Merci beaucoup Gurparshad, c'est un plaisir pour nous. Nous sommes ravis de vous avoir avec nous aujourd'hui. Alors, dites-nous, comment vous sentez-vous après avoir reçu vos résultats?
Honnêtement, je suis vraiment contente parce que je pense que c'est un grand accomplissement pour moi dans ma vie.
Très bien. Et pourriez-vous vous présenter et nous parler un peu de votre parcours avant de commencer à apprendre le français?
Ah oui, bien sûr. Pour commencer avec mon introduction, j'étais une étudiante internationale. J'ai immigré au Canada il y a quelques années. J'ai travaillé comme gestionnaire immobilier dans la ville de Vancouver. Et en faisant ce boulot, j'ai décidé de commencer à apprendre la langue française, définitivement pour obtenir la résidence permanente au Canada dans une manière très, très facile.
Très bien. And we will switch to English now so that everyone can understand. So, what motivated you to start learning French? What was your mindset when you began your French language journey, especially considering that you could have also chosen the LMI route?
Yes, for the motivation, definitely first la resident permanent of Canada. And that's not the only motivation though. If it would be just the one, I would probably not invest that many hours of studying and doing that much hard work just for the PR, even though it is important, but that was not the only one for me. So for me, it aligns best for my career goals as well, as currently je suis en train de préparer pour l'examen de DALF C1. Donc, je pense que c'est une bonne idée pour moi ouvrir mes portes de travail. Parce que we live in a Canadian economy where being bilingual will be an asset because of official language French that we have.
Very good. And in your opinion, is it better to prepare for the DELF exam first by progressing through levels like A1, A2, B1, B2? Or should one focus directly on TEF preparation by mastering grammar and then appearing for the exam?
I think simple answer is no. If the end goal is to clear TEF or TCF for the permanent residency, why to choose the indirect route of preparing for the different exam and getting familiar with the different pattern rather than focusing on the direct goals. So I think it is better to just directly focus on the grammar and then just the TEF pattern, TEF preparation. Because in the other route, the journey can be a little bit prolonged by following the DELF book of level-wise A1, A2, B1, B2, and basically familiarizing yourself with the DELF pattern for no reason. Because I think I personally tried doing TELF test while preparing for TEF, but at the end, now I can say it didn't help me a lot because the pattern is completely different, especially listening. You don't need to write anything. You just need to get the gist of the context, and then you just need to choose the multiple choice question, which is way different in DELF. And I think speaking is different too.
Yes, exactly. And I think it wastes a lot of time as well because you keep covering, because for the DELF preparation, it's entirely different. They have assigned books and syllabus like we used to do in schools for A1, A2, B1, B2, and it takes more than 1 year just to cover that grammar till B2. So it takes a lot of time as well. And how important was self-study in your journey?
I think without any doubt, self-study is one of the utmost important thing to do. Personally, I believe 70% portion to get the success in TEF is by self-study, because any teacher can guide you, give you the study structure material. At the end of the day, you will be the one absorbing that, working on that, creating the links, how you're gonna memorize, understand. So self-study is very important. talking about specific number of hours. So I started like with just 3 hours, but in a consistent manner in the beginning, while studying like A1 grammar. And after that, coming towards the exam, I had invested like 7 to 8 hours each day because I supposed to cover like 4 modules each day: listening, writing, reading, speaking each day, just like 1.5 month before the exam.
Okay. And how do you feel that Ishan Malhi or Learn Le Français helped you throughout this journey? How was our support system outside the regular classes?
You helped a lot every step of the way for the journey, especially in writing and listening, because listening was one of the troublesome modules for me, could be, weakest in the beginning. And for that, you gave me a tip, which helped me a lot because I was doing good in mock test, but you gave me a tip beyond like learning actually the tips and tricks for listening. You said you need to stay cool. You don't need to chase like each and every word for the questions in the conversation. You just need to have the context and then just read the question once. If you cannot read the options, that's fine. Just don't focus on the options. Just listen to the audio. And after that, when you have time, just see the options. And then most probably you will be able to get the right answer. And for writing, you checked my writings in a professional manner, very detailed manner, and on time. That was the most important for me to get it done so that I can write more writings once it's checked, and so I can improve on errors further. So that helped a lot, honestly. I appreciate your work.
Thank you so much, Gurparshad. And how do you stay motivated during your learning process, especially during the tough or low moments? Because I know some days are very good, but some days are really bad. So what kept
Yeah, I
you
think
going?
that's true. Sometimes it gets really hard to keep yourself motivated all the time, and I think that's pretty normal. It's not something that students who cleared stayed motivated for the whole time. You may have good days, bad days. Bad days, that's completely fine. And the most important thing is you should not give up on your bad days, because I have heard somewhere, and that's very true, that motivation can fluctuate according to days, but you must be consistent to overcome that problem. So I think that one thing worked for me. Of course, I had days where I don't want to study, but even for that, I stayed consistent. Whether I had fever or it's my birthday or it's any festival, I just stayed consistent so that my mind cannot give me excuse on the next days. Oh, it was fine for that day. Why can't we just have, one more day off? So that thing. And secondly, the most important, of course, my parents motivated me a lot. They always have placed an immense trust in me. So for that, I just always have that enthusiasm in me to make their expectations true.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So, and you have that killer never giving up spirit. And I think that is very important, especially during the exam, because you might get like a couple of questions wrong, for example, in the listening exam, but you have to keep going. You have to back yourself. No, I will get the next questions right. So, very well done. Very well said. And some people say we have been learning English since childhood and we still struggle. But how can we expect to learn French in a few months? And what's your take on this? Because you're somebody who has done it, who has achieved it.
So to answer that question, first, I'm glad that you asked that because I have been hearing recently a lot that kind of statements on social media. So my reply would be that could be someone's general statement or an opinion, but this is not a fact because we all know people have done it otherwise, and most of them are on their way to prove that statement wrong. And secondly, the reason is we have learned English that many years, and that time our brains were not that developed in kindergarten. So we learned tenses and grammar portion probably in 5 to 6 years, till sixth grade, seventh grade, voices and everything, right? But you can concise that journey to just probably 3 4 months. So if you already invested so much time and have a fluency in English, then why not use that to learn the French as well? And there's another reason that I got, that both English and French have the Latin base. So they have the strong influence of the Latin language. So which means we already have similarity of for French and English. So it goes parallel, and we have 30% of the vocabulary same in French as English. So if you already know that, 30% of the work is done.
Yes, because it's just that with a lot of similarities with both these languages, like the alphabets are also same. So let's say if you want to learn Japanese or Chinese, for sure it's gonna take way longer.
Yeah, I just want to add, I think that's just like the basic is kind of same, and you know what you're going to expect in the grammar because you just now have the same thing but in a different language. Even for the alphabets, they are same, but you may just need to learn like accent, pronunciation, that's all.
Yes. So what was your experience like on the exam day for each module?
It was a little bit hard for me because of unforeseen situations. So I woke up with a sore throat. So I was too much worried about my speaking because that was kind of my strength. I don't want to lose marks on that. But still, it did affect a little bit scores. But yeah, still that's good. So for reading, because of technical glitch, for some reason, I had to do it again. So in fact, I did 5 modules a day. So by the end of the exam, while doing speaking, my energy was completely drained. My mind was completely exhausted. So, but still, I did just like 2 minutes self-talk with me. No, I need to take one module at a time. I need to get it done. I really need to get it done. So, and that helped. I just took one module at a time and did my best, and that really helped for me to cross the benchmark of the desired.
Very well done. And what resources did you use to prepare? Could you share your top tips for cracking all 4 modules of the TEF exam? We will go one by one for each module, starting with listening.
Oh, oui, bien sûr. Starting with comprehension orale, listening, I would say RFE, a podcast. Prep My Future helped me a lot because they give you, why the answer is answered. So, like what are the tips and tricks you need to follow. So that helped me a lot. And I did a lot of mock tests available on internet, not just completed for the sake of completion, but maybe I have spent like 2 hours on just one mock test in the beginnings just to see, all the vocab, the answers I got wrong, why I got wrong. So I did spend, time to go to the depth for a little. And talking about reading, again, the mock test in the same manner. Writings, you did help a lot in a significant manner by checking it in a detail and telling me what best words I can use, the structure, the word count, and everything. For speaking, I practiced with one of my speaking colleague. We practiced section A, section B daily, so that gave me confidence and courage to speak on any topic.
Okay, interesting. And there is something which you mentioned that while you were doing mock test, if you made a mistake, you used to understand it, why did you make that mistake, and you used to learn vocabulary as well, even while doing mock test. I think this point is very, very important because sometimes students, while doing even let's say writings as well, they send us their writings, we do evaluate them, but they don't check it back to see what they did wrong. I think that point is very, very important to understand because that is how you improve. You see your mistakes and you say to your mind that I won't make the same mistake again.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, you will be on the same level. You will be repeating the same mistakes again and again and figuring out at the end why the scores are not improving without checking the fact that you are not literally making any change. You are just repeating the same mistakes again and again. So I think, yeah, it's sometimes not even about the understanding. You understand, but like for the first 20 listening pattern-wise questions, you need to practice that type of questions. So mock test can help for that.
I totally agree. And finally, how long did it take you to successfully clear the TEF exam from the time you started learning French?
So for me, in the beginning, the journey was on and off, the learning journey, because of my hectic work schedule. So on an average, to answer this question, I would say 6 to 7 months of intense study and good structured plan.
Very well done. That's quite an achievement. And what advice would you give to someone who is just starting their journey of learning French for TEF and wants to achieve their goal in a short time frame?
For advice, I would say first, pretty simple and as expected, practice, practice, practice for all modules and be consistent. Have never giving up attitude. You may be, demotivated some days, but again, maybe take a break for a couple of days, but just don't give up.
I hope you're enjoying this video. If you would like to have Gurparshad's TEF writing samples, please contact us on WhatsApp.
Donc, à la fin, en français, mon conseil pour tous mes collègues qui sont en train de préparer pour l'examen de la TEF, bon courage et bonne chance. J'espère que vous allez aussi réussir dans l'examen de la TEF et obtenir votre résidence permanente au Canada. Merci, Nicole.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup d'avoir partagé votre expérience avec nous. Vous avez accompli ce que beaucoup considèrent comme impossible et votre parcours est vraiment inspirant. On vous souhaite plein de succès pour la suite. À très bientôt et encore félicitations pour votre réussite au TEF Canada.
Merci, merci. Je vous souhaite une bonne journée. Au revoir.
Au revoir. Merci beaucoup. If you want to start your French language journey, or if you are already learning French and you just want to get your writings and speakings evaluated, or if you want to have an assessment of your current level, feel free to contact us on WhatsApp and we will be more than happy to help you.